Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's recap of Dancing with the Stars.
Well, hello, it's Latin night.
One of my faves.
Ricky Martin in the house.
Hi. He's the guest judge this week, so the show started off with a sexy Latin pro dance.
With Ricky Martin performing right along with them, and it was really hot.
Yeah.
They couldn't risk putting the celebrities out there.
No.
So they didn't have any celebrity walkout. So
Well, they came out after the dance, but
Right.
they weren't in the dance.
notice they did not sit Ricky Martin next to Bruno. They didn't have a drool bucket big enough to
Sorry.
slap onto Bruno's chin, for crying out loud. He would have eaten him alive.
All right, well, let's talk about the dances this week. Each celebrity is doing one dance with their partner and one team dance.
Right.
So 2 teams.
Amy and Derek were up first with their solo performance, a rumba. It was very emotional.
She was having a really difficult week with this because she's been having issues with her boyfriend. Their schedules are so crazy, and this was
Yeah.
really bringing out that emotion because it's such like a sensual dance.
Well, this sure was sensual. It was 100% sex A all the way down
To
to
my
sex Z.
Favorite rumba song,
Yes.
Light My Fire.
Yeah, but you like the Jose Feliciano version.
That was like the Jose version.
I know, but
I have
like
3
when-
versions of that on my iPod. Moving on. She did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a rumba is very difficult for her to do because of her limitations.
Yeah, like her partner Derek said, it's like riding a bicycle slowly. It's hard to keep her balance
Right.
when she's doing slow stuff.
Exactly. Carrie Ann was the big zit on the butt. She was like, that was a left. I want it to be fair. Well, then give her some freaking legs if you want it to be fair.
Yeah, so they got 36, and we found out later on in the show that she hurt herself after the dance was over.
Right.
At first they said it was her back, but then later on I think they said it was her shoulder.
Yeah.
So they actually had to take her to the hospital during the show, and she couldn't be in the group dance.
I know, which really sucks because you want to complete and support your team. You know,
Yeah.
you want to complete your show and support the team.
So we'll talk about that later.
All right, they got a 36. Okay. James and Peta up next with a samba.
They, I think, went a little overboard with this routine.
All I have to say is dirty Peta in her underwear.
Those costumes, come on.
That was a Victoria's Secret ad.
And he was like,
He must have been waxed
I don't know.
very lowly.
Like, fine, the costumes, whatever. But then the choreography
Was dirty.
was dirty, and I feel like they weren't that great.
They weren't. It wasn't a great samba. There was no bounce.
Which is unfortunate because I think that he has a lot of talent.
I think so, but she's dirty Peta.
Yeah.
DP. All right.
No bounce. He messed up his footwork a little bit.
I'm gonna have. This is the first time. Well, maybe not the first time, but one of the first times that I agree with Len. He was the
I
stinker
feel
of
old
the
and
bunch.
crotchety.
He gave an 8, but they ended up with a 35.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? Ricky Martin was just throwing out
like,
9s and 10s all over the
9.
place, so who cares? Danica and Val, another sad story here. She broke her rib during
She had a tough
rehearsal.
week.
They had a salsa.
That's a tough week to break your rib when you're doing a salsa because there's a lot of like isolations and
Right.
stuff. So I really feel for her.
They had the troupe, some of it in their
Yeah,
routine
a couple
to
of the
puff it up a little
routines
bit.
had the troupe in the background.
Yeah. The Shmerikovsky brothers did.
Well, I guess they allowed it for salsa.
All right. Well, she did a really great job for having a broken rib, I thought.
Well, yes and no. I feel like, I don't know if you guys are going to get what I'm saying, but she wasn't like grounded enough. Salsa is a dance where you really need to like get down low into that floor, and I feel like she was just like floating around.
Well,
I don't know if that has to do with her injury or
could.
not, but
they ended up with a 33. You know, I just have to preface that with there wasn't much of a spread in between the high and the low
Yeah.
scores. So, I mean, these scores really mean nothing.
I feel like these scores were meaningless this week, especially.
Nene and Tony up next with an Argentine tango. When I heard they were doing an Argentine tango, I was like, what?
Yeah, so the show decided to have a little moment with Tony.
A little Twitter contest.
Yeah.
You want to see him dance with his shirt on or with his shirt off?
Of course, 90% said on. I can't believe it wasn't higher.
I know.
I mean off.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Sorry.
This was another dirty-esque dance. Nene motorboated one of the guys.
No, the guy motorboated her.
Well, she was like, yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
It was her idea, I'm pretty sure.
I wasn't into this one, and the
Some
technique
creative choreography going on
those
there.
gone shows were weak.
The gone shows were sad. Bad Nene, bad. Or as she said, Nene.
Yes.
Because it was half Nene, half Nene. That's her alter ego. So 31 for her. Big deal.
I guess it was fair.
Who cares?
All right.
Charlie and Sharna up next. Dirty Sharna with the paso.
You're calling everyone dirty tonight. They did a paso doble, and they said how this week they really want those 10s. They're working hard for the 10s. And I think this was a classic case of pushing it too hard.
I think he was grade grubbing.
I think he was
Grade grubbing.
so focused and pushing it so hard that it caused him to mess up a little bit.
Yeah. And let me just say, those high-waisted pants on him, he can't go any higher. Because he's very short-waisted to begin with. And when you put those high-waisteds on a short person, his pants were eating him.
All right,
They really were. I'm
please.
sorry.
They ended up with a 36.
I was really disappointed, too, because I was actually expecting a lot from them.
I mean, it was still good, but it wasn't 10s across the board.
It wasn't 10. Not even close.
It was a Ricky Martin 10.
Well, come on.
Next up, Candace and Mark.
They had to take her to a sports psychologist because she's a freaking wreck.
She's fine during rehearsals, and then when they get to that camera blocking and the dress rehearsal, she freaks out.
Yeah, so this was really good. I mean, it was good for her to go to the sports psychologist because they were like telling her stuff she already knew. You're a perfectionist, child actress.
Yeah, so
it was great except
She went
for
out
the
there-
robot face.
she went out there with her Argentine tango. I thought this was probably one of her best dances
I would
to
have
date.
to agree with that. There was a couple slip-ups.
Yeah,
but
you could see on her face a couple times she was just like, what am I doing? But, I mean,
Yeah.
I really do think it was one of her best so far.
I was surprised that it was as good as it was.
Yeah.
So 35 for them. The Dancing with the Stars.
I
cats
thought that
are
was
over
a
there.
person, but it was the cats.
All right, Meryl and Max close the single couple routine part of the show
With
with
the
a salsa. Again with the troupe.
Okay, I was like a little bit worried for Meryl going into this because, like, I thought, well, she's great at the ballroom dances, but I was like, Latin, I don't know. But she
Yeah.
really brought it.
She did. He gave her some moves that were good for her, but I mean, I could see in rehearsal that this was kind of a problem for her.
I don't know. What do you mean?
I just don't think she's dirty enough.
I thought she brought the appropriate level of dirtiness to
Okay.
this.
Well, this was a
I thought
high
it
energy
worked.
routine, and it got a little out of control.
I thought
at points.
it looked a little bit frantic at times, but overall, I thought it was great, and I agree with the judges. She really fit in with the pro dancers dancing
she
behind
did.
her.
She is an Olympian.
Well, they ended up with a 39,
All right.
top of the leaderboard.
Of course. All right, so there was Team Vita and Team Loca.
So we find out before Team Vita goes on that those three couples, Charlie and Sharna, Nene and Tony, and James and Peta, are all in danger.
Uh-oh, hot dogs.
So there's a lot at stake here.
All right, so they had a freestyle, Latin freestyle, which was pretty good. Obviously, Nene was the weak link.
They did feature her a lot, though, which was fun. She brings a lot of energy to the
She does
to the
bring
dance.
a lot of energy, but visually, her and Tony just don't fit together very well. It's hard to
I'm
watch.
sorry.
And she just can't do the moves that the other people can do. So they always kind of stick her at the back a lot.
I don't know. Well, the group ended up with a 35.
Okay. Well, Team Loca couldn't even show their live dance. They did end up dancing live for the crowd, but to the audience at home, they showed the rehearsal footage.
The dress rehearsal. Like we said
Right.
earlier, Amy got hurt, so she couldn't participate live. So
Theirs was light years ahead of the other one anyway.
they kind of had the dream team there, except I'm sorry I had to call you out, but Candace and Mark.
Yeah. There was most of the flubs that happened during that routine were Candace.
I don't know. I thought it looked pretty tight, though. They were pretty good together. They worked well
Right.
together.
It was lots of fun. I enjoyed their
Choreography was
routine.
fun.
I'm a little surprised though that they did the groups this week instead of next week because
When it's
usually
even.
they do it 3 and 3, but who knows what their plans are? They didn't tell me.
I don't know. Well,
So-
they ended up 1 point away from perfection with a 39.
Wow.
I'm surprised that they got, I thought it was good, but that.
Yeah, I thought it would have been 9s across
That's
the
what
board.
I was thinking, too.
All right. So the bottom, like we said, Charlie and Sharna. I always want to call her Shauna. Nene and Tony, and James and Peta.
Well, it turns out this was Nene's week to go.
I'm a little shocked because I thought she was more popular. But
It's not.
bye, Nene. We love you.
Bye, Nene. Do.
I know. I'm so looking forward to next week.
Next
for
week's gonna be awesome.
many reasons.
Okay, number 1. Abby Lee Miller is the guest judge. I don't know if you guys follow any of the pros on Twitter, but I remember, it has to have been,
A few weeks ago.
no, years ago.
No?
At least a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 2.
Well, I read about it a few weeks ago.
Mark and Derek, I know for sure, were like, oh, that Abby Lee Miller, that's not how you teach children, and blah, blah, blah. They do not like her.
No.
So I feel like it's going to be really, really awkward and weird.
Awkward turtles.
Yeah, so that's happening. The dance moms and the kids are going to be there. I'm sure the kids are going to perform. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah. In between, probably. And the stars are going to be pairing up with each other, probably for a secondary
What?
dance.
Well, I'm sure they're doing
And-
2 dances again.
Yeah. And they're going to be dancing together. So that's going to be so much fun.
I'm sorry, but I'd love to see Meryl and Charlie dance together.
I would love to see that. And I would actually, like you had mentioned before, off camera, would love to see the Bring It moms and
Oh, yeah. Miss Diana!
Miss Diana. I think it would be really cool to see
It would
her
be.
on the show as well. So guys, Twitter war. Tell the DWTS producers that you want to see Miss Diana on the show as well. All right, kids. So let us know who your favorite was. I'm gonna have to say it was the Meryl and Max team.
Of course.
Meryl dance. It was a good one. And of course, who would you say was your favorite?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Never mind. Just leave it in the comments, whatever the hell you want.
All right.
And we'll read it. Till next time.
Much love.
Edit.